Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. You watching EmceeTV The Podcast. It is Sunday morning. Thank you for tuning in and watching with us. As always, with me, I got my bro.
This your boy Big Ray West, B-I-double-G, representing the west side of Des Moines, Iowa, not to be confused with the West Coast, and they know.
I just noticed which coffee cup I had in my not so positive past. I had to do some community service at a Salvation Army, and I found this cup, and I went back and bought it later.
Coffee.
It's an awesome cotton cup, and when you put coffee in it, it says the one to start with, the one to stick with. That's terrible. This is the most addictive substance we came out on the block with, and this motherfucker made a coffee cup.
I know nothing.
I thought it was kind of funny though. It was a long time.
I know nothing.
Ray, how you feeling this morning, bro? We had a big weekend.
Man, it's good. It's good. Man, coming off the King ISO show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Metro, Strawstone, with Nice Enough ENT, and, EmceeTV, King ISO, Omaha, Nebraska, Table the Truth, out of Omaha, Nebraska, Snake Lucci, I think he's in Omaha, Nebraska, and AWAX out of San Francisco. We was at Lefty's Live Music, and it was a nice lineup, man. Those guys can ultra rap. They was doing some rapidy rap shit, and it's very impressive to watch.
It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. I got some phenomenal pictures. I should adjust this camera real quick while we're talking. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was it's always fun kicking it with you. You know what I mean? We got to get up in there and chop it up and hang out. But yeah, you know what I mean? I took a Friday off for this one. Skipped the job, played hooky.
Hell yeah.
And I was up in there kicking it with my dog, and we got after it. The wife came out. She brought one of her girlfriends, and they hung out. And everybody got to see Ray do some dope rap shit. Ray come out the pocket with some new shit.
Yeah.
Bars on him, brought something new to the table, so that's always fun to see. I got some great videos of it. I'm gonna start posting. Yeah, it was fun. You know what I mean? And then when the tour package hit, that was really cool because it was a new mix of stuff that they were bringing to the table too. And I feel like I got some phenomenal pictures again. I really think Snake Lucci shined on this one. I enjoyed watching his performance a lot. That one was fun.
It was dope. You got to see Snake Lucci and King ISO do some shit that they had together, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to see King ISO link up with AWAX and do their shit, and then you got to see King ISO and Tabo do their shit, you know what I'm saying, on top of solo King ISO shit. Hey. So that's a whole experience if you're a fan of King ISO / reality, the guys can rap, man. They can rap live too. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important part. The men are very talented, and I say it all the time. King ISO, his live performance reminds me of a younger Tech.
I heard whispers that motherfuckers was saying he was Tech's son because he was commanding the stage like that. You know what I mean? Like, damn, this got to be from the same bloodline. The way this dude get up there and does his thing.
Yeah, he's learned from the best.
Without a doubt.
And it shows. It's like Kobe's game resembling Jordan. You know what I'm sizzling?
Spot on.
His game resembles Tech a lot. There's a lot of individualism in there as well. Obviously, he's King ISO, but you see the similarities in their live performance. And, how his mannerisms and how he controls it and commands it and shit. It's very similar to Nina.
For sure. I thought a cool thing that they did was taking the extra time for mental health awareness, especially after the way it touched our local hip hop community here in Iowa, because obviously we lost Scooty Whoop, and then Crisis Child was sharing that that there was another member of the Des Moines hip hop community that had recently passed. And so King ISO already was promoting mental health awareness and reaching out if you need help and things like that. But that kind of brought it full circle because it was something that directly impacted us. Sometimes you just see stuff and it doesn't hit home like that, but it kind of brought it full circle to me, anyways, at that point. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is dope. And I feel like regardless of the month, you're gonna get that with an ISO show anyway. That's
Yeah.
that's one of their main things they focus on and talk about is mental health awareness. You know, but yeah, and then Tabo the Truth, man. That man is very talented, dog. It's fucking crazy. It really is. Um, King ISO's got him a handful of his label Be Well, Project Be Well. He's got some talented guys. Snake Lucci, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, he came out with the different sounding genre, had more metal in his shit and, more rock in his shit sprinkled in with the rapping. Project Be Well's getting it from all angles. They also got Venom Stay Dripping. You heard of her, the white chick?
I have not.
Yeah, she could rap too, dog.
Okay, she out of Omaha or Des Moines?
I feel like she's out of Omaha.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tap in and check her out. Venom Stay Dripping.
Yeah. He's got some talent on Project Be Well. So it should be exciting once they start releasing some official music. I imagine they'll probably do like a label CD first or maybe solo ISO with some of their features or something.
Hell yeah. Real quick, if you just tuned in, you're watching me and your boy, that motherfucker Steve, and on EmceeTV with the homie Big Ray West, and we're just doing a quick recap of the events over the weekend from when the King ISO More Group Therapy Tour hit Des Moines, Iowa at Lefty's Live Music. Yeah, it was definitely a dope show. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
And it
How
wasn't,
about a
it wasn't
ooh.
something short. You know what I mean? Like it went all the way through. It was well put together. It was a traditional strange show in terms of like orchestration. It ran very well. Strawstone did a phenomenal job. He killed it up there on the Wheels of Steel too. You know what I mean? DJ
Yeah. Man, how about Frank Mank Loke?
Frank,
I feel like that was the best performance I've ever seen of him
I
on
thoroughly
everything.
enjoyed it. Yeah, Frank got up there and did his thing. He had merch. Frank was put together. Frank looked good. Frank looked
Frank
good.
had merch.
Frank had merch. He came. He was ready. He was prepared for the event.
I love it.
He had a merch table set up. He was taking pictures. He was selling CDs, shirts.
What?
Frank was doing the damn thing. I love it.
Yeah, shout out Frank Mank Loke, man. He whooped ass.
Real
And
talk.
Crisis Child did his thing too. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's the first show we've ever done together, me and Crisis Child. And then the Cellar Boys, you know what I'm saying? It was more of an honorary show type thing, you know what I'm saying? It's always good to share the bill with them and their gathering, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna sell 40 tickets at every event, so
They
their
come deep.
supporters be in the building. So shout out to Cellar Boys.
These motherfuckers so wild. I was fortunate enough to partake in this. They went to an out of town show, got a bus, and fucking brought a bus full of people from Des Moines to Iowa City, just because they said, "Fuck it, hey, we doing a bus, we're selling tickets. Buy a ticket, jump on the bus. The bus is going to fucking Iowa City. We leave it this time. Let's roll."
That's hard,
damn.
dog.
That's
hard.
how you do an out of town show. Say, fuck
That's
it.
how you do it.
We got our own bus. We got a driver. Let's get fucked up.
We got our fucking fans. We got our fucking driver. We're on our way.
Let's go, dude.
Who's drinking with us?
Get the beers, bro. The bus is here.
You know it. Shit, you was there, shit. You know it.
Who's got the gummy bears?
Yeah, shout out to Cellar Boys. And then
Nah, they're good fucking dudes, man. I love Sean and Scooty Whoop, man. It was a very heartfelt show to get to see Sean address some things and approach it like he did, and it was dope. It was dope.
And then who else rap? We had Hondro Bands in the building, and then we had Crisis Child, Hondro Bands. Was that it? After us?
Yep, I feel like it was.
Yeah, so the locals showed up, It was dope. But specifically, shout out to Frank Mankloke and Crisis Child. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, it was a dope show. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Um, it was well put together. Nice Enough always does that. You know what I mean? It was a W. It was a W. They put on for the city, and it was fun. So if you missed it, you know what I mean. You're gonna have to make sure you make it to the next one because you missed out on some dope hip hop, y'all.
So he's right about that. I'm gonna have to steer it up. I'm gonna have to slide away from that real quick. Let's talk about Wednesday, May 28th, Steve O.
Okay.
So Wednesday, May 28th.
Where we going? Help me out.
Wednesday, May 28th. That was motherfucking Game 5, Timberwolves and Thunder.
Oh, that day.
That day.
That was, aside from being my wife's birthday, that was a painful day. Only thing I can say is there's no reason to raise my ticket prices next year.
Okay.
Nah, man. You know what? We made it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not mad. I would. So it's kind of like if I played. This is how I liken it, anyways. If I played a game against LeBron James, right? In the event I beat him, everybody's fucking blown away. There's no win for LeBron. There's no upside for him because if he beats me, they're gonna be like, "That's what you were supposed to do." And so that's kind of how I liken it. Now, obviously, there ain't that much of a difference between the Timberwolves and OKC as there is me and LeBron, right? I got no skill in basketball. They got fairly equally skilled. You know what I mean? Maybe one's ahead of the other on different metrics or whatever, right? But they're all athletes. I'm not near as athletic. So that's not the best comparison in terms of that. But my point is OKC was already favored. Everybody had already had them picked to win. And they have them picked to win against the Eastern Conference, I believe, as well. So I think they were already predicted to take this and go home. So I can't really be mad that we lost. I would have would I have liked to see us win, of course, but I can't be mad that we lost because we were the underdog anyway.
Yeah. Hey man, the Thunder is for real. The Thunder's like that.
I heard some analysts say that
shout out to Oklahoma.
I heard some analysts say that their mid-tier game was what really set them apart. Everybody was draining threes, and if they fell off with the threes and they couldn't make them, then that's where the team fell apart. SGA and OKC, throwing out letters now. SGA and OKC had a lot of mid-tier games.
Oh shit, the alphabet boys are here.
No, but they said SGA and OKC had a lot of mid-tier, and so they were in between the layups and the 3-pointers, and they were draining those, and so even though they weren't pulling back a three every time, they were very successful with the mid-tier, and that was what allowed them, in conjunction with defense and everything else that they had, that allowed them to really beat the shit out of everybody else in the league.
Yeah, man. And then last night, the Pacers eliminated the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Indiana wins the series 4-2. They won last night 125-108. Halliburton put up 21.6 rebounds, 13 assists, and you have your NBA Finals set right there.
That's kind of a cool one for us because even though Halliburton's from Wisconsin, he went to a couple years at Iowa State before he got drafted to the league, and I believe he went 11th or 12th in the NBA draft. So that's kind of one we can claim. He's not a native per se, but you know what I mean? He came out of here, you know what I mean? So that's a cool one that we can be like, yo, that's our guy, you know what I mean? And so I think that's exciting that he's holding it down and performing as well as he is in the NBA. And I think that's kind of, I don't know exactly where Purdy's originally from. I don't think he's from here. So that's, but he graduated from Iowa State. So that's kind of cool to also, you know what I mean? A lot of people from Iowa gravitate to the Niners, I think, because of that, you know what I mean? Or at least root for Purdy, you know what I mean?
I don't fuck about no Purdy and 49ers, man.
But in terms of
everybody right now, everybody talking about Cooper DeJean, Cooper. Hey man, nobody give a fuck about no Cooper DeJean, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when you was a Hawkeye, hey, you was my guy then. But then you go to Philly. What? Like Cooper? Who?
What
Absolutely
do
not.
the Cowboys call them? The Sheagles?
Man, we call them everything derogatory, homie.
This is a
Everything
children's
negative.
podcast. We ain't gonna say all that. But
Yeah, everything negative, man. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
I feel you. I feel you. So when it comes down to it, are you going OKC or are you going road?
Absolutely.
Oh, you rooting for OKC?
Good. I'm not rooting for anybody. I just believe that OKC will win the series.
Okay.
I don't have a preference. There's no dog in the fight. Either one of them winning doesn't fuck with my legacy or ego at all. So
Okay. I feel you. I feel you. I think I get kind of patriotic, I guess, in that one. So I don't really have a team to root for because my dudes are out, and so I would just go more the Halliburton situation, and so I would go Indiana because he came from Iowa State. So that would.
See, and my college politics are fucked up, because I'm a Hawkeye and, I don't fuck with that Iowa State shit. So, I don't root for Iowa State players, even though it's Iowa, I'm the type of guy that I'll cheer for the out of state team over Iowa State.
Really?
That's bad.
Oh, see, I would just always choose Iowa if you know what I mean. Unless
I understand it.
Yeah, unless
That makes sense. You're from Iowa. We're from Iowa. It makes sense. But that's why I led with, my college football politics are fucked. My college politics are fucked up. Because it's University of Iowa or nothing. It's Hawkeyes or nothing. And, I fuck with Drake a little bit, but I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, I watch Drake football. I know, I watch Drake basketball and all that shit. I catch it when it's on, but I don't be going to the games. That's one thing I want to change. That shit is literally in the backyard, and we need to get homies together and go to Drake games and make that a thing.
I think I would 100% be down to go to a couple Drake games next year, bro. Matter of fact, I got a homie that offered me tickets a couple times.
That shit would be hard as fuck. Why does nobody entertain that?
Yeah, that's a great stadium. Holds 6,000 people. We can be there in just a couple minutes. I mean, I enjoy going to the Iowa State games.
Yeah.
But it's even more convenient to catch the Drake game because it's right on the other side of the city.
Yeah. Like, man, we finna start that trend, dog. We going next year. We finna set it off.
All right, next time my dog reaches out to me, I'm going to grab us a couple of tickets and we'll go.
Yeah, we on it.
Let's do it. Matter of fact, I'll buy an extra one and bring my son with us.
We going.
There we go. All right, let's dig in some hip hop, y'all. It is Sunday morning, so we're talking hip hop. This one comes in from Hip Hop DX. Kendrick Lamar's Luther and Not Like Us has been dethroned. It's the end of a historic chart run. Luther, which had been the top Billboard Hot 100 for a record-breaking 13 weeks, has been deposed by Morgan Wallen and Tate McRae's What I Want. The hit single now slid down to number 5 on the chart after originally being released last November. Not Like Us, which last week broke the record for most weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 for a rap song, has also fell off the chart entirely. That's wild, bro.
It's an impressive run, but I'm not surprised. Like, hey, eventually you got to get tired of the record.
We get it. You're not like us.
Like, yeah, it's monumental. It broke numbers. It broke records. The whole planet arguably knows it. You know what I'm saying? Luther, it's a great song too. A great feature on it. It sounds very smooth. Pay homage to Luther Vandross. It's great. But nigga, 13 weeks and we still playing the same 2 songs. Like, that's hey. I get it that it's slipping,
Yeah. Congrats to Kendrick and everybody involved with building that one and putting it together. And both of them for that matter. But yeah. You know what I mean? It was exciting as could be, but all great things have to come to an end. And so, it was just a matter of time before eventually that happened. But
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it's in the playlist. We add it to the playlist, and we hear it when we hear it. But now we're not gonna be checking for it every single day. Into the like we're 13 weeks in. We're not gonna be checking for that song every day.
right.
I'm not anyway.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
13 weeks after release, if the shit that I like is in the playlist and I hear it when I hear it.
Yeah,
But maybe the first week, you know what I'm saying? That's when I'm checking for it daily. Like, okay, yeah, this is still fresh.
yeah,
After that, after the first week and a half, I'm taking what I want from it, throwing it in the playlist, and then I hear it when I hear it.
yeah. No, I agree with you. It's one of them deals. I mean, I can hear it from time to time or whatever, but I don't need it to be on a regular at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my fix of it. So,
Yeah.
Ray, what else we got in there? Tell about the clips. Tell about the clips, or whatever
That's a
you want to
beautiful
grab.
thing. So the clips reveal a release date for Let's God Sort 'Em Out. Let God Sort 'Em Out with help from Mike Tyson. So the album's called Let God Sort 'Em Out. And it's a reunion. If y'all don't know who the Clips is, that's Pusha T and No Malice. But anyway, the Clips have finally announced the release date of their highly anticipated reunion album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. The album will be the first full-length project from Pusha T and No Malice in 15 years and is set to be released through Rock Nation. In a social media post and cinematic trailer, the brothers announced that fans can expect the album relatively soon, with it arriving on July 11th. Let God Sort 'Em Out will also be executive produced by longtime collaborator Pharrell Williams. My immediate thoughts is that's great for them, but it's 15 years too fucking late. It is, bro. Like, hey, man, that early 2000s, mid 2000s era, it was slamming, and they hit the ground running with that album, Lord Willing, and Grinding as the single and shit, and
And
dog.
that motherfucker was banging.
That was just a terrible time for No Malice to decide that he's not going to do rap music no more.
Yeah.
Now, 15 years later, you're back. Like, the buzz is dead, Jack.
But so okay, so they got to rebuild it from ground up essentially. Do you think they can bring it back, or do you think that the motherfuckers are just gonna be like, "What have you done for me lately?"
I think that there's a market for them. Like, their core fans, they obviously got a core audience. There's people that will be checking for them, people from their hood and shit. And, Pusha T stood solid as a solo artist, so he has a market.
Well, that's kind of what my thought was. Like he stayed relevant to a certain extent. He went at Drake and a couple other dudes over the years, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's never going to be what it could have been if they dropped a second or third Clips album on schedule like they were supposed to,
Yeah.
Like, when you had the buzz, like when you were in your prime and shit, that's when the second album should have came,
Yep.
But now we're doing it 15 years later. It's like, fuck. You got some people that'll check on it because, they're fans and they from the hood, and Pusha T stood on business.
Right.
But I don't think I think it's ultimately too late for it to be deemed successful commercially, in my opinion.
When I type in Pusha T beef, just to kind of see, who all he had run-ins with, because that was kind of what more so what his name was involved in over the last handful of years, aside from some other things.
Well, he was on Kanye's label, Good Music, and that's when Good Music was making some noise.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe I missed that.
Yeah.
But what I was seeing was when him and Drake went against each other back in 2018 was kind of the most recent stuff that they had, and then that looks like that beef went all the way back to 2006. I didn't realize that it went that far back, but yeah, they had run-ins with each other for a while. And that kept going back and forth for a while. They was trading blows. So, but yeah, I always liked Pusha T. I believe I believe they're out of Detroit.
Virginia.
Oh, is it Virginia? Okay.
Yeah.
Why did I think Detroit? Yeah. So I was off on that one. But Virginia Beach, you're spot on. They were born in the Bronx. Uh, and I didn't realize they were brothers either. I thought they were just homeboys, but they're brothers.
Mm-mm.
Um, they were born in the Bronx and later moved to Virginia Beach. While they don't have a strong connection to Detroit, a sneaker release of Pharrell Adidas Superstar 92 was mentioned on a post. Okay. Yeah, I was off on that. I wish good things
Hey,
for them. I'd like to see more out of them. You know what I mean? I feel like the lyricism was there. They ain't scared to get in there and get their hands dirty and have a little fun with it. And I think for hip hop fans that are kind of nostalgic and motherfuckers like myself and yourself that enjoyed what they did in the early 2000s,
yeah,
I think it'd be nice to see a resurgence and maybe see them back on the scene dropping some hits.
they could rap. They got great punchlines, and they was real good at the cocaine rap.
Yeah.
The dope boy rap. They had that sewed up with the punchlines, and they was very witty and clever with that type shit.
I feel like with the push from Rock Nation being Jay-Z and whatnot, I feel like they that might give them a nice enough push that they might be able to get out there and really make a big splash. I don't know. I hadn't heard
You hope
anything
so.
about featuring.
I hope they're successful. I want it to, but I just see how tough this music shit is, man. Like, man, people don't give a. These young people don't give a fuck about anybody that's motherfucking 26 and older. You 26 and older, you're unk to them, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's what have you done?
You an
for me
old
lately?
head. They don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear, like, they don't know grinding. Like 15 years ago, nigga, you still rapping? Like, what are you talking about? That's how
You're in the
these young
retirement
guys
home.
are. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's why Snoop Dogg and Missionary Dr. Dre didn't have that impact. They had the impact for Snoopy's fans, his core, but these youngsters ain't checking for Snoopy, dog.
Right.
Like that's like they grandpa dropping the album in their opinion. They're not listening to that old head rap.
That brings me to our next topic. It didn't make it to the post, but I saw yesterday. I think it was TMZ broke that Snoop Dogg now has a new form of art. Did you see this? Uh,
Oh,
his half smoked blunt roaches are framed, and he's signing them, like he's signing the packaging and whatnot. And motherfuckers are buying cannabis art, and it's Snoop Dogg's leftover blunt roaches that are. Basically, to me, it looked like it was glued to a piece of paper and in a glass frame. And you could buy one
it's
autographed by
innovative.
Snoop.
It's innovative, dog, and I think it's like when you break it down and you think about it too hard, it's dumb. But for money, like for your fan base and how iconic marijuana is with the name Snoop Dogg, the symbolism, it's kind of brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you scribble your autograph right under that motherfucking roach and you glue it to a piece of paper and frame it and be like, Snoop Dogg smoked this, dog.
Right.
Like, I could see that hanging up in a lot of people's basement. I could see it.
Not only
I
that,
can see
if it was like Snoop Dogg smoked it, you know what I mean? Like if you could be like Snoop Dogg smoked this on stage at Woodstock 2027. You know what I mean? Like,
And if it's authentic, I could see it.
yeah. All right, now how many motherfuckers are going to try and unroll it and smoke it?
I think you have a few that will, but I think you got people like you that will have, the value in that shit,
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big hip hop artifacts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe some people will grab it and sprinkle it into their shit and roll it up and be like, shit, we smoking with Snoopy.
Yeah.
That's dope too. Whatever you want to do.
Right.
But my question is, how do you ship that across 50 states?
Right. That's dangerous. I mean, it was,
Or is that something you got to come to his LA store and get physically or some shit? How does that
on your
work?
own. Good luck.
Yeah.
Um,
It's smart though. I think it'll sell. People will definitely want a piece of that.
what do you think the price tag on that is?
Probably $100.
You think? Oh, see, I'm thinking higher than that. But I mean, the autograph alone is probably kind of pricey. I'm coming in at like $700-800. But
No, fuck
no.
no. Not for no joint roast. Y'all got me fucked up. A joint roast to somebody put in their mouth, man, y'all better make that shit affordable.
Let's see here. I'm pulling it up right now. Complex
Yeah, I wish I would, but
Complex Magazine, Snoop Dogg blunt roaches, Double XL talks about it. Snoop Dogg turned his half-smoked blunt roaches into collectible art pieces in an upcoming collab with artist Erica Kovitz. Let me see what they're going for. Last year, Snoop made it possible for fans to own a roach from a blunt the rapper once smoked. The rare item is part of the Shiznit Snoop Dogg memorabilia auction, which features authentic collectibles and is currently online.
oh, it's an auction. Oh, that shit's gonna go up then.
Yeah. I'm not seeing prices. All right, one last check before we move on.
I thought he was just like he's gonna have a whole bunch of them available on a website type shit.
That's kind of where I thought they were going with it too. Let's see if we can find this.
Motherfuckers are gonna do the auction. Them prices gonna run up.
Yeah. Okay. I got an Instagram. Let's see. I don't see a link. The first 420 bidders receive a free limited edition original Snoop Dogg collectible. Still no auction though, or no price. Huh. All right. Well, if you get a price, let us know down below. I'm curious what these are going for.
Big money.
Yeah. I'll hit the Complex link real quick. Let's see if they. Oh, right here. The roach currently sits at 22 bids, the highest being $439. Snoop fans can also bid on an assortment of other items, like an autographed booklet from the 2000 Up in Smoke tour, a personal gold plaque for Doggy Style, a Death Row chain, and a signed box, and more. I think this is probably over with now. Yeah, this article dropped May 21st, 2024. So, this may be done and over with. And that's probably why we're not seeing prices anymore. Everything's already sold. Pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Somebody bought it. $439. You could have got you a half-smoked Snoop Dogg blunt.
Shit.
Props to Snoop. He's innovative. He keeps coming up with stuff. He's relevant. We talk about it. We love him. Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? Fuck you. What else you gonna do? You know? Okay. On to the next one. I'll grab this one. I'm gonna get in the mud. Donald Trump comments on Diddy's XXL magazine case. I'm sorry. Donald Trump comments on Diddy's case. This comes in from XXL. Diddy's back in the news for a magazine. On Friday, May 30th, Trump hosted a press conference at the Oval Office 2 days after pardoning a dozen people, including Youngboy Never Broke. When asked about the possibility of pardoning Diddy if he is convicted of sex crimes, Trump was not opposed to it. I'd look at what's happening, Trump told the assembled press in the video below, and I haven't been watching it too closely, though it is certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't spoke to him in years. He used to really like me a lot. I think when I ran for politics, the relationship busted up. I would certainly look at the facts, Trump continued. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or not, or whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, shut up, chump.
We'll see how that goes. That popped up on us when we were at the King ISO show, and it popped up again when I was hunting through topics this morning. So I figured it's worth mentioning, but we don't get into politics too much. So that's about all the love they get on this one. How you feeling about Suge?
Suge Knight. So Suge Knight does not believe Diddy should go to prison via Hip Hop DX. Suge Knight has claimed that he does not believe that Diddy should go to prison over his sex trafficking trial. In his latest interview on Cuomo from prison, Suge offered his thoughts on some of the developments in the highly publicized trial. The Death Row Records co-founder said, quote, I say this all the time, Puffy and I are not friends, but Puffy should definitely walk free. Suge added, quote, the most important thing is that it was other executives that was involved in Puff's life. And for Puffy to be the only guy that gets on the stand, it's a sad day for hip hop.
There's probably some truth to that. I think Suge's got a bias in this for sure. Even though he doesn't like Puffy, he's definitely using it as another opportunity to get himself in the news. You know what I mean? And try and stay relevant even when he's locked up behind bars. Um, so I don't. I think back in the day he'd have been like, fuck him, lock him up, put him in here with me. You know what I mean? But nowadays I think he's got a different perspective on it. So, um, I think Suge I'm shocked at all the damn interviews this man has got. Like he's got to have a podcast set up in the cell. Suge is constantly on somebody's radio station from prison.
It's not shocking because of the stories he's telling. Once you start talking about other people's business and gossiping, everybody wants you on because everybody wants clicks. Everybody wants numbers. So once you're willing to tell the stories that shouldn't be told publicly, it's easy to get on platforms.
Well, oh no, I guess I was more shocked that the California penal system or wherever he's locked up is allowing it. You know what I mean? Like you would think that I guess these are big news organizations sometimes, but sometimes it's just can we reach out? Can we get Sugar on the podcast if he says yes?
Why would they say no? Like, shit, if the motherfuckers want to come interview you, why not? Like, that ain't against the law, right?
Well, yeah, but you just don't hear about, like, how many times X-Rated get interviewed when he was locked up. I didn't hear him popping up on podcasts and shit all the time. You know what I mean?
Was podcasting a thing, though, when he was sitting down?
That's valid. I'm trying to think of somebody else that would be a better comparison, but I don't hear about a bunch of dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem it's that common. But he's getting a little extra love in that category.
It's hard, man. Who has a name like him that's locked up, though?
Right.
Like, in hip-hop.
Or even just another celebrity facet, you know what I mean? Like you don't hear about like Charlie Sheen or somebody just like, hey, go stop by and have Charlie on the podcast today. He's in cell block 7.
That's fair. You're right, but the hip hop in me is like, who the fuck gives a fuck what Charlie Sheen got to talk about though?
Right.
Even if he was on a podcast from prison, like, what are we tuning in to hear?
Right.
If you're listening to Suge, we're going to hear some stories about Snoop. We're going to hear some infamous stories about what Tupac, his last moments alive. We're going to hear death row motherfuckers getting fucked up. We're going to hear about corrupt police, you're going to get something with Suge Knight.
Yeah.
Because he's got the connections with all of these people. So,
let's see what this says. I just typed in, how hard is it to podcast from prison? Podcasting from prison is a challenge, but it can be done, according to Google AI. It requires overcoming logistical hurdles and obtaining necessary permission. Limited access to technology. While some prisons offer computer tablets and internet access, it's not often available to all inmates or may require extra fees, according to Yahoo. Excuse me. Bureaucratic hurdles. In the U.S., for example, you'll likely need press credentials, permission from the Bureau of Prisons or a similar authority, and potentially legal advice from an attorney representing the inmate, according to Reddit. Security concerns. Prison administrations may require additional review of content for security and safety concerns before release, according to Mount Tamalpais College. So it sounds like there's some hurdles, but it can be done.
I think he's just calling in on the phone.
Okay.
He's just calling somebody on his phone time, and there's shit you could do to get all the phone time you want. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you if you got a certain status shit.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he just calling motherfuckers and they press and record.
Okay. I guess I ain't really tapped in on any of it yet. I've heard some little transcripts or whatever and snippets, but I guess I assumed that there was a video somewhere of what I was listening to.
He's got his own podcast, Collect Call with Suge. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Then he's been on the Art of Dialogue. Been doing hella shit on there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple other platforms he's recently been on too.
And the Cuomo one would be pretty big because he was formerly an anchor at CNN, so that dude's got a following.
Yeah.
And his brother was a governor of New York, so interesting. All right, I'm gonna jump on this other one here. We're running out of time. We're going to wrap it up. But so hours of unreleased freestyles from DMX are being sold at an auction. Ray, does that pique your interest at all?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, you know what I mean? Especially as somebody that it'd be cool to have this piece of history. So the article goes on. Another huge hip-hop auction is going down online. It features several items related to the late DMX, including hours of unreleased freestyles. Hip Hop Spring 2025 auction. On Wednesday, May 28th, Auction House Gotta Have Rock and Roll launched their latest hip hop auction, which is running from May 28th to June 13th. The collectibles feature dozens of items once owned, used, or related to some of your favorite rappers. The highlight of the season's auction is several items related to the late Darkman X. Let me grab this topic real quick. I'm going to see if I can copy this. We'll see what it stands at. The items include unreleased VHS footage of DMX from 1990 to 94 that is going for $30,000 to $50,000, which features never before seen footage, music videos, interviews, freestyles, and more. There are also 4 cassette tapes with unreleased music. One is listed as Mary J. Blige Diss. Oh shit! One pieces up for auction include One of the pieces up for auction include handwritten lyrics, concert flyers, and a rare T-shirt once worn by the legendary Yonkers, New York rapper. It's interesting. I mean, that's a lot of money to drop, but I suppose you got. I mean, it would be cool to see it. The only thing you got to worry about at that point is whoever's holding it. Did they dub it off? You know what I mean? Like, are you the only one that's got it, or did they dub it off first?
Right. I think it's good for DMX fans with paper, like an NFL player that if DMX was your idol or DMX was your guy, like somebody that got paper that, you know, could splurge on that shit. Like, hell yeah, that's some shit you can have and then cash in later down in life.
Yeah. So it looks like this website has a lot of stuff on there. It's not just hip hop. They got a Bob Marley signed Exodus album sold for $20,000. Tupac Shakur 8 times signed an original handwritten lyrics of Thug Life by Big Sight Collection sold for $18,750. The Rolling
Some straight
Stones,
artifacts.
yeah, the Rolling Stones signed debut album with Brian Jones sold for $17,500. Queen signed first pressing A Night at the Opera sold for $17,500. Currently, they have Tupac Shakur's owned and worn white, gold, and diamond ring. Minimum bid is $1,000. There's 12 days left on it, and there are 0 bids so far. DMX Born Loser handwritten lyrics. Current bid is $2,750. Minimum bid $2,500.
Shit.
So there's definitely some stuff on here. They got another Tupac Shakur Thug Life handwritten lyrics for $3,000. Didn't I just say one of those went for 17? So they must have taken several pages out of this notebook and they're auctioning them off individually, maybe. Because you would think he wouldn't have wrote the lyrics one time.
That's dope, man, but that's just for other celebrities and athletes to own. That ain't for like me and you.
Yeah, this is tall money. Money. How mad would you be if you buy this VHS tape and then your old ass VHS player eats it as soon as you put it in there to see what you got? You know what I mean? Like that's a possibility. Cassette. I remember.
So I think when I get it, I think I take it to a duplicator place and I get it put on digital first before we even try to experiment with it.
I'm calling the insurance company. I'm insuring that shit.
Yeah, you feel me? There's steps we could take.
I'm buying a policy. If this motherfucker gets eaten and is ruined forever, at least I can file insurance, get my money back.
There's steps.
Yeah.
But that's dope. Yeah. The Mary J. Blige diss, I wonder what that's about.
Yeah, I never heard any issues between the two of them, but they was both out of New York, so I could see, maybe something erupted behind the scenes or something that really didn't make it mainstream back then or whatever. But maybe there was a little tension amongst the crews or something.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, let's dig into these last couple of things real quick. Ray, tell them about the last one, and then let me get your feelings on it, because I know you and I talked about it off air before we jumped on here a couple days ago.
So Lil Wayne preps his long-awaited album, The Carter 6. Following the 2025 Super Bowl controversy, Lil Wayne is finally satisfying fans craving for new music in his long-awaited album, The Carter 6. It's been 5 years since Tune dropped his funeral album and 7 years since The Carter 5. The New Orleans rap legend confirmed C6 would drop on June 6 back in February last month. He reviewed the new album will feature MGK, Wyclef, Billie Eilish, Miley Cyrus, Bono, and others. The fuck kind of features is that? Shout out Wyclef. I don't know about none of that other shit though. June 6th, C6. Wayne recently commented on Instagram, the Carter 6, June 6th, C6 ain't a problem. I can 6, June 6th. You know what I'm sizzling. He's also offering signed vinyls and packages via Instagram if you click the link in his bio. So y'all can feel free to fuck with that.
So I will say I was a fan of the Cash Money Millionaires, BG, Wayne, Turk, all them dudes back in the early days when they first came out and Cash Money dropping something weekly. And I was out mowing yards or doing whatever I could to hit the CD store the next week as soon as something new dropped. It was like Cash Money, No Limit, Cash Money, No Limit. And they just kept going back and forth at the record store. And I was rounding up every dollar I could to go cop a new CD. When Lil Wayne became a phenomenon and everybody was fucking with him, I kind of tuned out and I was not fucking with him during the whole mixtape series and everything. Like it wasn't really for me at that point in time. But now I've heard some of these features and shit that he did for Tech Nine and some of this stuff. And I don't know if Wayne's style has changed or if my opinion of him has changed because I'm hearing something different. But I'm back on the Wayne shit again. And I'm fucking with him. I'm fucking with him.
You said I'm back on. Fuck you.
So so I copped it. I got me the new up and coming Wayne album.
I mean, I think you got it for the autograph, but it doesn't matter, you know.
There may be.
Yeah. No, ain't nothing wrong with Wayne. He's one of the guys, you know what I'm saying? He's GOAT to a lot of rappers out here today, you know. He's a lot of people's Tupac, you know. He's a lot of people's B.I.G., you know, and I understand it, you know. He played a big part on a lot of people's musical influence, and he can definitely rhyme. He's like that.
Without a doubt. Yeah, he's one of them dudes that really holds it down. I got to see him. He's about my age. I think we're within a year apart of each other. And I got to see him. I didn't realize that when I saw him, but I got to see him in Denver in like 1999, 2000, somewhere around there. Me and the homie.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Copped it. And it was definitely hard. So shout out to Wayne for that one. There's a couple other bigger albums coming up. About 2 weeks, we got Trade the Truth dropping something new. He got a new project out called Angel, June 13th. John Connor and KLC got a new project called 24, coming out June 27th. Ray, we was both on this one too. I kind of blew past the first one because I don't know much about the features or anything. But June 27th, shout out to OG Tech 9. 5816 Forest is coming. I'm excited for this too, bro.
Road dog, Billy Number. Road dog, Billy Number. Road dog.
Yeah, that one slaps.
I'm still stuck on that one he got that This I Know. The last single he just dropped called This I Man, that shit harder than fuck.
You know, a lot of people got different views on strange music as of recent. You know what I mean? Everybody's casting views and opinions and whatnot. I still love them to death. You know what I mean? The shit that they're doing is insane. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna be sad that maybe this artist ain't there no more and they moved on and they're doing different things or what happened here or whatever. Those are minor opinions to me. I think what Tech and Trav are doing is still monumental. And it's very impressive to be able to watch them do what they're doing and continue to grow their brand and evolve with the times. And
yeah, man, one monkey don't stop no show, man. You know, I've always felt Chris Calico was underrated, and I felt like Strange Music took him as high as they could take him, you know. And at that point, it was either, you know, you're being underfulfilled, so should you stay here, be underpaid and underfulfilled, or do you finally just try to drive your own car and know you're sacrificing the free gas that you was getting? Now you got to pay for your own gas, but at least you got control of where you're going now, you know? I don't know. It could be bittersweet.
Real talk. Are you going to cop that new country album Chris Calico doing?
I think I will. I'm a fan. I'm a Chris Calico fan. You know, I like to support him.
I love it. I love it. I thought you was gonna say no. That's the only reason I brought it up. I was like, oh, we're gonna get some clickbait on this one.
No, I don't got nothing against country music. It's definitely becoming a wave now for rappers to jump into it. Everybody's seeing the Jelly Roll success, so they're trying to imitate that. And that's all, that's all the industry is, trying to imitate the hottest shit,
So there's money over here.
Yeah, you see the most successful blueprint, and now you got everybody trying to, make a copy of that, do their version of that until the next trend comes, and everybody will be jumping on that.
All right, before we close out, Ray, if I kicked us a country beat, so something not full country, but something with a little twang, would you rap on it?
I would rap on it. I'm not gonna be doing no. I'm not gonna sing or try to sing like a country dude or no shit like that. But I could rap about some country topics. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker is from Iowa now.
We might have to get experimental, y'all. Y'all heard it here first.
I'll take it to a Bone Thugs and Harmony Ghetto Cowboy in a heartbeat.
I just saw Crazy Bone just posted some shit about that. He was out in Wyoming. And he was horseback riding, and he said it's coming.
You better count your money.
Yeah.
You better count your money, boy.
But he said we're doing it. He said we're doing it for real.
Ghetto Cowboy. That was that shit. I can do that. I can rap about anything.
All right, that's it. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna cook up a beat with some twang to it. And
I appreciate it. Hell
going to
yeah.
Wyoming, we're gonna fucking shoot a video. I'm gonna get you on.
Let's do it. I'll have HB the King do me a hook on there, boy. We'll be all the way up in that bitch.
Fuck, we already got a blueprint. There we go.
I ain't fucking around.
Start fucking cooking right now.
I'll buy my cover off tonight.
Got to be Dickies. The Dickies cover off.
You know it. Shit, you know it.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you watching. As always, it's your boy, that motherfucker Steve for EmceeTV.
It's your boy, Big Ray West, BIGG, representing the west side of Des Moines, Iowa, not to be confused with the West Coast. And they know.
All right, y'all. Until next time, we out. Peace.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice won. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck them like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.